Alright, so nagbabalik tayo sa ating violin tips and tricks. And for today's video, let's talk about incremental upgrades. No? Upgrades you could do to your instrument to make them sound a little bit better than, let's say, stock. No? Yung pagiging stock niya of, or if you bought it from a store, ano yung mga pwede nyong palitan to make sure that your instrument could perform at its best and help you get the sound that you want. Yan. So, when we talk about instruments kasi akala nila pag bili mo yun na lang, no? But you could actually change a lot of things. Even simple minor tweaks could also help, no? Mas mapaganda pa yung sound ng instruments natin, no? Just like, for example, changing a certain part, pwedeng lumakas yung sound natin, pwedeng humina, pwedeng magbago yung quality niya, no? So, if you don't have the budget yet to buy a new instrument, but you want to change things up a little bit, ano yung mga pwede nyong gawin? Okay? So, considering first that you have to have your instrument properly set up muna, no? So, kailangan okay ba yung height ng bridge? Of course. Natutugtugan ba ng ayos? Yung sound post ba is aligned? So, those things, no, would drastically improve the sound of your instrument kahit wala ka pang baguhin, no? So, making sure muna na properly set up siya before doing anything else to it. Para at least meron kang baseline of how your instrument works, how it reacts to the changes that you will be doing. Okay? So, let's start from the top. So, sa pegs, usually, it won't affect the sound, but a good set of pegs na sukat talaga sa peg box ng instruments nyo would help in preserving good intonation. Siyempre, kung hindi nagsislip yung pegs natin, mas maganda yung magiging sound quality of our instruments, no? Usually, the wood that you would choose for your pegs does not really affect the sound as much, but it affects the durability of those pegs, no? So, if a softer wood yung gagamitin mo, baka mas madali siyang masira. If a harder wood, yun, mas magiging rigid siya, but also consider the quality of the wood that your violin is made out of. Okay? And then, the next upgrade you could do is, of course, change your strings. No? Usually, brand new instruments come in stock strings na from the factory kung saan sila galing, maybe sa China, ganun, or sometimes dominant yung nilalagay nila pag medyo high-end yung mga instruments na ginagamit. So, if you feel that the strings are not doing it for you, no, it's not cutting for you, try to upgrade those strings, no. So, for example, kung naka-dominant siya and you want a little bit brighter sound, you could always opt for, let's say, infilled blue, no, for if you are using domestic infilled strings or whatever strings you might want to upgrade, no. So, hindi siya ganun kalaking budget compared to buying a new instrument, but it could actually change the quality of the sound, whether you like it to be brighter, whether you like it to be warmer. So there are a ton of options when it comes to strings, no? Meron ding mga steel strings na medyo mas mura that would be better than, you know, the stock strings. Minsan kasi yung kasamang strings ng mga mumurahing instrument is right around 100 to 200 pesos yung price range niya. So if you upgrade to, let's say, a nice set of steel strings at around 1,000 pesos, so makikita mo agad yung differences ng tone niya and projection. So those things, no? Pegs and then strings. Another thing you could upgrade going down the line is your bridge. Okay? So, make sure na kapag nag-upgrade tayo ng bridge, you have it cut by someone who really knows what they are doing. No, wag tayo mag-experiment with cutting and all. Especially if you are new to it, no? So, you might want a stiffer bridge or a harder bridge, a harder wood for your bridge. Kasi makakatulong din siya in your projection, the tone production, no? Kung gaano kalakas yung magiging sound ng instrument, no? Making sure lang that it is properly cut to size and to the fit of your hand. So, when we talk about upgrades naman, it doesn't really need to always be about the sound of your instrument. It could also be about the comfort that you get once you have upgraded your instruments. Syempre, yung iba, pag uncut yung bridge, sobrang taas ng action ng string, so you really can't play properly. Now, even if sometimes hindi man maging mas maganda yung sound, but just the fact that you're more comfortable with your instrument is enough, no? To really consider those things if you really want to upgrade your bridge, for example. Kasi sa bridge yung action ng strings natin. That could greatly affect the comfort and, you know, the way you play. How easy you can play your instrument. Okay? Next, going down the line is tailpiece. No? Usually, yung kasamang tailpiece, yung composite na tailpiece, di ba? With all those big steel fine tuners na medyo mabigat. It could also affect the projection of your tone. So, you could upgrade to a wood tailpiece, no? Mas magandang quality of wood. It would help with your sound ng instrument. But it would also help with your the tension of the strings, di ba? Kung mas maganda yung tailpiece na magagamit mo. And of course, with less moving parts, less prone siya sa damage or baka masira. Kasi you won't have as much fine tuners. But if fine tuners are for you, if you want all 4 fine tuners on your instruments, okay lang din naman. No? So those things are the things you want to consider when you're changing a tailpiece. And then next is tail guts. No? Usually tail guts are made of plastic. Now, merong mga Kevlar na tail gut that it really changes the way your instrument sounds, no? So medyo napapalakas niya. So that would be also a nice upgrade. I think you could find one for less than 1,000 pesos. So yung mga upgrades na binibigay natin, it's really less yung value niya compared to buying a new instrument. Especially if you're beginning, di ba? Nagsisimula ka pa lang. You really don't want to spend, upgrade lang tayo na upgrade, palit ng instrument because hindi mo pa naman na-reach yung full potential ng instrument mo if you are just starting out. So, maybe kapag nakukulangan ka na sa sound, upgrade ka ng tail gut or upgrade ka ng tailpiece, that's a good thing to consider. No? Now, going to the side, upgrading your chin rest could also help. Now, the chin rest doesn't really affect the sound of your instrument. But the chin rest affects the way you play your instrument. Sabi nga natin kanina, like the upgrade on the bridge, minsan yung bridge hindi naman ganun kalaki yung significant difference when it comes to the sound. But the chin rest, wala talaga. No? So, having a center-mounted chin rest, for example, can help you kung may nahihirapan kang tumugtog, no? If you have a hard time at the side position of your chin rest, you could do that. Or you could opt for a smaller chin rest, for example, or a higher chin rest, whatever you would need. No, there are tons of options available. Meron ding mga hypoallergenic na chin rest. No, if you have allergies with when you come in contact with wood or something like that, or kung pawisin ka or whatever you want. So there's a ton of options that could range for like very cheap to very, very expensive, no, na mga chin rest. And again, chin rest offers comfort, and comfort will eventually turn into better tone production as well. No? So you could also upgrade your chin rest bracket. No, marami ding mga chin rest bracket na upgrade options. There are like titanium chin rest brackets. No, kung pawisin ka or allergic ka to certain metals na nagkakaroon ng mga sugat-sugat sa katawan, you can opt for that upgrade. Again, it's not gonna change the way your instrument sounds, but it's gonna make you more comfortable. No? So, I don't personally use a shoulder pad, but if you do, you can find tons of options as well again. So, shoulder pad could also help you in playing, no? Yung comfort ng playing natin. Mas mapapadali natin yung pagtugtog on all those things. So, kailangan mo din yun if you have, for example, you have a very long neck. A nice fitting shoulder pad or shoulder rest can help drastically improve your playing. No? Yeah. And then another thing is also upgrading your mutes. Ayan. So, you can have a nice practice mute na talagang makakatulong if you are in a crowded area na kailangan mo mag-practice paggabi, no? So yun, pwede kang gumamit ng mute na magandang klase, no? If you don't have one, you could buy a cheap one just for the sake of having one. Kapag may mga emergencies na kailangan mo mag-practice but you really don't have enough space for you to play loud, no? Yung mga ganun. Yeah. So, that would be my suggestions for upgrades to your instrument. Again, you can only upgrade to a certain point naman pagdating sa mga maliliit na palet, no? Na upgrades nga. Because again, it's the quality of the wood of your instrument that's gonna really determine the sound of your violin, no? Or any stringed instrument. So, pwede kang mag-upgrade, pero meron din siyang limit, yung upgrades na yun. And then, you would really need to buy your instrument. But, if you're a beginner, yung pagsisimula pa lang na yun, hindi mo pa siya ma-reach agad-agad. So, it's a good idea to slowly but surely upgrade things for your instrument. And again, kapag naman nag-upgrade ka na ulit ng bago, you could still use, for example, yung tailpiece. Pwede mo pang gamitin kung may Kevlar tailgut ka. Papalit mo lang siya dun sa susunod mong instrument. Chin rest, ganun din. The things lang na hindi mo na ulit pagagamit are either your bridge and your pegs kasi sukat na siya doon. But your strings, no, you can still use them, but as your strings are being played, nagde-deteriorate yung quality niya. Okay? Now, when it comes to bows naman, upgrade your rosin. Kung yung kasamang rosin niya, super powdery pero hindi makapit, palit ka ng less powdery pero mas makapit. So, mas gaganda yung quality ng contact ng bow to your strings, making it easier for you to play and better for you to really create good sounds with your instruments. And so, for any upgrades that you would want to consider, kapag hindi ka sure, you need help from professionals, no? So, kung magpapalit ka ng mga masiselang parts ng instrument, you really need a luthier to help you out. And of course, they would also know ano yung mas magandang fit sa instruments niyo. So, don't try to DIY, especially kung nagsisimula pa lang kayo kasi it might do more harm than good. Baka hindi gumanda yung tunog ng instrument mo, baka lalong lumala. Yeah. So, sana nakatulong tong video na to. If it did, please do drop a like, comment down below more content you'd like to see, and of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on all my socials. All links you need down in the description box below. This has been Ryan Monakil for Violin Tips and Tricks, and I'll see you on the next video.